Hello, everyone. Wanted to give a quick course update, basically on how we are going to finish this course. I've been receiving some feedback from students and also looking at the schedule and what we have to do to be done, and looking at the material that we've already covered. And when we look also, we got Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and how we're going to work all that in. So here is kind of what I've up with, and I want to shoot a quick video to tell you about some of the changes we're going to have in finishing up the course. So right now, what we have is about three areas that we're going to cover. We have covered quite a bit so far, so pat yourself on the back. This is a 1 credit hour course. So I think we've definitely have had our content share in this 1 credit hour course. So you've gone through, you've already read through the index book. So that's great. You've gone through that book. And most of you, believe it or not, um, your supplemental readings are coming from this book, Personal Finance for Dummies, which is a great book. But a lot of that is coming from here, and you have gone through a good chunk of this book as well. So plus the hours of videos that you've seen, I think we're looking really good right now as far as covering our core content and our objectives for this course at this point. But there are a few other areas I do want to touch on before we leave this course. And one of them is for Module 13 is education. Many of us are using student loans and various other financing mechanisms for our education. So I wanted to touch on that. Some of you will someday or maybe currently helping others with their education. So we're going to have a little piece on education. Also, I want to touch on career planning, maybe a little bit of forward projection with your career planning. Many people will spend more time planning their vacations than they will the next 5 or 10 years of their career. We get so stuck in the day to day, going to work, coming home, dealing with all of the issues that we have in our life and our these kind of tactical day to day fires that we have in our life. Sometimes we don't pull back and look at the big picture, especially with our career and where we see that going. Are there threats to our career? Are we in a line of work that having some external pressures that may impact our livelihood? We want to look at those and have a straight assessment of what that might be, and maybe we need to change our career path just a little bit to avoid any potential future threats to our career. Or maybe we're just not happy in what we're doing and we want to start maybe moving a little bit more to some more meaningful work that we enjoy. So we're going to take a little toe in the water on some career planning. And then also family, having a family and what a family means to folks is individual as to everyone and what that family is. But the commonality with that is that finances do impact the family, however you define family. So a little bit about family and finances as well. So really want to touch on those three areas before we put a bow on the package of this course. They're not going to be substantial areas like we did with our credit cards and debt and investing. Not going to be that deep. So here's the plan. Modules 13 and 14 are going to be covered really over the next 2.5 weeks. And those will be due on December 3rd. So look for both modules 13 and 14 to be open relatively soon. You can work through those at your own pace as long as they are done by December 3rd. That should give you enough time with the holiday break in there, with Thanksgiving in there. That should be just great. Again, and they won't be tremendously overbearing. They'll probably feel like one module, even though it will be two. So we'll have two separate modules in there, but again, very manageable. Then we'll have our final, I guess, content module, which will be on that family and family financing, and that will be open on December or due on December 10th, and that will leave our final week is basically December 11th through the 17th. And your final for this course will consist of just this. It'll be a 1.5 to 2 page paper, kind of like a personal financial declaration. what you want to accomplish with your personal financial picture. Similar to, but with a little bit more information. All of you have the index card book, right? So in there, you'll see actually in the back, this whole book started actually with a guy who wrote an index card. And that made like national news, and people just loved what his index card said. And really, what it was is it's very powerful. I mean, it's very simple. That's the key, simple, and that's what made it so powerful. So many people want to, for various reasons, maybe want to make finances more complex than they probably really are. And his whole thing was it is simple, which I've always believed as well. Whoops, showing the index card that's in the back. You can actually tear this out. But what you're going to kind of do is sort of come up with your own principles and declarations, and you're going to expand upon them a little bit more with maybe an explanation and how you're going to put those into action. Um, and that will take about 1.5 pages to 2 pages. No APA required. It's kind of a reflection format as well. I'll give you more information on that, but long story short is that it shouldn't be too difficult. For you to do that because you've probably been formulating how you're going to apply these things in your life. Many of you already are, which is great, but how you're going to either continue to apply these things in your life or you are going to apply some of these concepts going forward. Um, and always revisit and change because things do change in your life. So you'll have that, and that'll be basically your final exam. So that'll cover that entire week. So theoretically, many of you could have this course finished early because I will be opening up these modules and assignments earlier than needed. Um, so I think this will work. This will, one, finish up the remainder of the content that I really wanted to cover with you guys before we ended the course. Also fit the needs of what we have scheduling wise with the Thanksgiving holiday in there. I know your time is getting very, very busy. And many of you are also, you're in these 3, 4, 5 credit hour courses that are becoming much more demanding towards the end. So hopefully this will be a nice way to feather this course down as you're kind of ramping up in those. Again, we've covered all the major essential content, probably and more than to meet those course objectives. So we're really looking good in that. But I really wanted to again cover those last 3 areas of education, career, and family. But those will be relatively light. So hopefully this is a great way for us to finish what we've been doing here over the past 16 weeks. If you do have any questions, let me know. Feel free to text me. You got my information all over. So, but at the end, I think this will work out pretty good for all of us. And based on some of the feedback I've been getting from students in the course, I think this will help out greatly. All right. Thanks for watching.